I'm just popping on live for a few minutes to tell you about the latest home baking business book. Now, we've had the handbook, that was my first one. And then we had the order book and the planner, and then the food hygiene record book, which is very popular. I know a lot of you have got that one. And the little income and expenses book, that's the little one. But I thought it was about time for a new one. And it occurred to me that lots of people in the group, myself included, have a bank of all sorts of recipes. Most of mine are actually in my head, which can get quite hairy at times. But we're often sharing recipes in the group and asking for, this, that, and the other. And I know that some of you take recipes and adapt them. So I thought, what would be better than a book to record them all? So I have come up with the recipe journal, the home baking business recipe journal. There are 50 pages in here for you to record your recipes. There's a bit of an introduction page, but I'll sort of talk to you about the book when we get that far. So here is one of the pages in the book. So the idea is that you sort of jot down where you found the recipe, because I don't know about you, but I forget where I found something. So it's useful to jot down, Jane Patisserie's website or Nigella or Paul Hollywood or whoever it is. So once I've jotted that down, I can then find it again online if I need to. And then obviously a space for ingredients and method. I haven't put a great space for that because I tend to sort of just jot things down rather than write out a whole thing. I can do, make cakes from a fairly simple method. Oh, hi, Alex. Hello, lovely. And then this bit here is the tried it out bit. So when I first try out a recipe, it's useful to note down, the temperature that I baked it at. Morning, Dawn. The temperature that I baked it at and how long I baked it for, because all ovens are different, as you know. And it might be that once you've baked it, you think, oh, that would be better, at 160 for 40 minutes instead of 180 for 20 or whatever. So here's your space. You can sort of jot that down. And then you've got ideas for next time, which is your, any alterations and things you want to make and any ideas you have. So it might be that you think, oh, this flavor would be great for this cake, or it might be that you want to try a different topping. So you can put all your ideas down there for different adaptations that you can think of. And then for any pro bakers here, we've got a little section here just so that you can jot down, if you want to, the cost of this. So you can sort of have a quick, is this worth putting on my menu, this one, or is it too expensive? Because some recipes that we try out, I know I've abandoned recipes in the past because actually they're not going to make me much profit for what I can sell them at. So it's worth, jotting down the cost of making something. So there we have it. That is our recipe journal. You can keep all your recipes and thoughts and ideas and jottings in one place. There are 50 pages, so room for 50 recipes. And if you're anything like me, you probably use a couple of pages for the same recipe. Because I will fill up one page quite quickly with some of the things that I do. Sometimes, I'm mainly wedding cakes now, as you know. So I have a fairly standard recipe for most of my cakes. But very occasionally someone will ask me for something that requires a completely different recipe, or a vegan recipe, or, something like that. So it's worth having it written down, and also writing down different amounts for different sizes of tins. So I have a red velvet recipe that I use from the BBC. Actually, it's the Good Food recipe. But I'm asked for that in 6-inch. I'm asked for it in 8-inch. Tomorrow I've got to make a 9-inch. So it's worth, and I can use this book to jot down what the amounts are for each different size of cake I've got to make. and it'll keep it all in one place, because I write things on bits of paper and then I lose them. And of course, you can always, staple things in. If you've got bits of paper, you can staple them in. So the idea is that you keep all your recipes in one place. So that is the Home Baking Business Recipe Journal. There should be a link already in the Home Baking Business community group. Those of you that get my emails, I think 10:15, I scheduled an email to go out with the link in. But if you want it sort of before you can find the link, look up on Amazon. Well, just put that in Amazon and you'll probably find it, or put in Annie Bennett and it'll list all my books and you can find it there. Okay, so there, if you've got any questions, do ask. But it's sort of fairly straightforward, fairly self-explanatory, really. So yes, so it's really simple. So just a page of explanation, and then all your recipe pages. So there's 50 pages in there that you can use to keep all your recipes in one place and all the notes that you make on them. There we go. So if you've got no questions, I will leave it there. So this is only going to be a quick pop on to say hello and to show it to you. My lovely baby. Hopefully some of you are going to join me this evening. This evening, I'm going to talk about ideal client, what an ideal client is, what it means, and why it's important to know your ideal client in business. Something 2 years ago I had no idea about. So let me explain it to you, and you'll sort of understand why it's important for you to know about that. Oh, you're going to purchase, hooray! We like that. We like that kind of comment. Thank you. Yes, so I will see you this evening. Do let me know what you think of the book once you've got it and you use it, because if there's a possibility that somewhere down the line I'll do second editions of things, and if anything sort of needs adapting or changing, or bigger spaces for this or section for that, then I'm more than welcome to thank you, Alex. I'm more than welcome to adapt it for what we need, because that's how these things work, isn't it? So do let me know. Have a lovely day, and hopefully I shall see some of you at 7:30 this evening for my short live on ideal clients. All right, have a lovely day, and thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. Bye.